Are you sure?
Yeah, Floyd good.
I bet if he's playing for the future, you got to keep it coming in if you're going to keep spending the way he spends.
I think feel like it's happened with Mayweather.
Why do you think he does those things, though? Do you think
For money.
I
don't think he's got the money he says.
New York. I mean, oh my God.
I didn't buy New York, but I feel like everyone should own.
Joe Rogan has issued a bold warning to Floyd Mayweather, urging him to flee the US after some insiders reportedly snitched on him to federal authorities over claims he made about owning several luxury apartment buildings, with insiders now revealing that Floyd is not the actual owner but merely a partner in the deals, as the buildings are still legally owned by another party, casting doubt on Mayweather's public statements, and this revelation could land Floyd in serious trouble, especially if authorities dig deeper into potential financial misrepresentation.
All right, now Floyd Mayweather Jr., there's a story circulating that Business Insider did talking about this $400 million property deal that he had been discussing here in New York City. But now, according to Business Insider, it's not what you think it is. They said there's no evidence there's been a sale of these properties. And it's 62 rental apartment buildings in Upper Manhattan. Here is what Floyd Mayweather had said at the time on a video that he posted on his Instagram.
My lifestyle, showing the people how I live. Now, I know you guys see me on a regular talking about real estate. Well, lately, I purchased 62 apartment buildings in New York City. And what I need you guys to do, slide over and check out the photos. It's not all 62 buildings, it's a few buildings, but guess what? All the buildings belong to me. I don't have no partners. And all the retail down low on my buildings all belong to me. Guess what? You can do the same.
Business Insider. So according to another update, he did ink a $402 million deal for a Black Spruce portfolio. When he said that it was all his and no one invested, he meant no one was funding his part of the investment but him. And so I think this is something where maybe he owns a piece of this or shares in it, but it hasn't changed hands because the majority owner is still the same owner that it was before. I'm trying to understand what happened with this, but I know there's a story that's circulating, so just putting it out there. Whew, it's a tough one. I'm trying to understand, as a real estate person myself, what exactly he is communicating when he's saying that he owns this, because they're trying to make it seem like he doesn't, but what it seems like is that he...
Joe Rogan recently made waves by suggesting that Floyd Mayweather, despite his massive wealth, has a bad habit of neglecting taxes, and according to Rogan, this financial recklessness could be one of the key reasons Mayweather now finds himself in legal trouble, as Rogan implies that all the flashy spending might have caught up with Floyd because the IRS doesn't look kindly on those who flaunt wealth without paying their dues.
He owe that money to the IRS. How much does he owe?
It's in the $20+ million range.
It's a lot of money, man.
But it's not something that he's been, it's not like deception.
No.
It's just neglect to pay.
Neglect. And it's also like, I think, and there is like a truth to this, he makes so much money, there's probably a point when they're like, hey, it's time to pay your taxes. And you go like, all right, here's a check for $25 million. That's an incredible amount of money. And then they go, that's true, but you owe 50 more. And he's just like, that can't be right. I've given you $25 million.
Yeah, he's bought over 100 luxury cars from the same dealer and always pays in cash.
He has 15.
Boxing promoter Eddie Hearn chimed in on the Mayweather conversation, stating plainly that Floyd is still chasing money, and he believes this is the reason behind Floyd's continuous involvement in exhibition fights and business ventures that seem far from serious boxing. So according to Hearn, Floyd's money-hungry behavior shows signs of desperation, hinting that the boxing legend might not be as financially stable as he portrays.
What about Mayweather?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that Mayweather was unquestionably one of the best ever. But I don't know. I mean, it's difficult to say he's not a true fighter because he fought everybody he could of his era. But he was a different kind of skill set, you know. He was very much hit and don't get hit, which is the art of boxing. I think sometimes when these guys carry on and they do the exhibitions and all that kind of stuff, it just sort of diminishes their legacy a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
And that's what I feel like's happened with Mayweather.
Why do you think he does those things, though? Do you think
for money?
I
don't think he's got the money he says. That's what I think.
I think he still needs the money.
I don't
after
think
all
he
these
needs
years.
the money. But you know when you got that lifestyle, right? So
Once celebrated by millions, Floyd Mayweather's public image has taken a hit after sources revealed that many of his bold statements weren't entirely true, so fans who once admired him are beginning to question the authenticity of his claims, particularly around ownership of major properties, and these revelations have caused a noticeable shift in how people talk about and perceive the former champ.
And still out here doing big deals. Money Mayweather just inked a massive $402 million real estate deal in New York City, buying up 60 apartment buildings from Black Spruce Management, the equivalent of 1,000 apartment units. Now, Floyd said the goal is to be able to provide affordable housing to families that need it. Most of the units are located in Upper Manhattan. And he said that when he was a kid, his dream was just to be able to own a home, and that you can achieve anything if you put your mind to it. Damn, Floyd just bought the block. I'm proud of Floyd. He's come a long way. This is a guy who was once seen burning money in a nightclub. He spent $17 million on a watch. Not to pocket watch him, but people looked at him for years like, yo, he wastes a lot of money. Does he ever give back? And now he's providing affordable housing? Damn, Money Mayweather's come a long way. This is a real good look. It shows evolution. It shows maturity. Not to mention, it's always great to see another person of color become a landlord in New York City.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
And I'm pointing like this because all of them. We're in New York City right now. We're in Manhattan. That's what we do. Come on. You know what I'm doing? All this money made. No partners. All by myself. Over 1,000 apartments. I'm just getting started.
Mayweather has consistently bragged in interviews and social media posts about owning valuable land in New York, and he often used these claims as proof of his smart investments and business acumen, but recent revelations have cast doubt on those statements because if Floyd exaggerated ownership in other real estate ventures, then his New York land story could also be inflated, so this pattern of boosting his image through half-truths is now putting his credibility at serious risk.
We might see it more in New York, maybe?
Well, I live in New York.
I know. Dude, by the way, I saw you bought like 40 apartments or something.
Well, no, actually,
I think you bought New York. I mean, what am
I didn't buy New York, but I feel like everyone should own a piece of the earth. And I feel like you can't go wrong with New York real estate. So what I did was, in one of my portfolios, because I don't know the exact number, because they said if you know how much money you got, you really don't have no money. So if you know how many buildings you got, you don't really have no buildings. So I think I own right now somewhere up.
Rogan offered a sharp critique, saying Floyd Mayweather's fame didn't stem from raw talent like Mike Tyson's, but from his cocky attitude and arrogance, because according to Rogan, Floyd created a persona that many found irritating, and that's exactly why people paid to watch him, not because they loved him, but because they hoped to see him defeated. And this tactic may have worked for views and pay-per-views, but it also built a fan base grounded in resentment rather than respect.
And he's making millions and millions of dollars doing this way after his competitive career is over. Which is,
I guess he's earned that right.
Hey man, he's a genius. He really is a genius. He's a genius in figuring out a way to keep making money. And one of the reasons why people watch him fight is not because he's like Mike Tyson, just goes out and destroys people. They like watching him fight because they hate him. Because he talks so much. He's like, look at my $1 million watch. Look at my jet. Look at my house. Look at this. He's like constantly showing you all these things that he has. Like he'll lay out watches in a hotel bed. Like this is $1 million worth of watches. This watch goes for $2 million. And they're like, this.
Floyd Mayweather's boxing record is legendary, undefeated and unmatched, yet his fights have never truly thrilled the masses, as fans often label his style as overly defensive and dull, and combined with his loud personality and flashy lifestyle, this made many rude against him, so people didn't buy his fight tickets to celebrate him. They did it in the hopes of witnessing his first loss, and Joe Rogan found humor and even some pity in Floyd Mayweather's post-retirement fight choices, because from YouTubers to retired MMA fighters, Floyd's opponents were clearly no match for his experience, and Rogan pointed out that these fights were less about sport and more about profit, as he sees this as a sad turn for someone once at the top of professional boxing.
Points, right? Because it's an exhibition. So that's what's interesting is Floyd's making more money than anybody, and he's boxing people who have no chance of beating him, and he's doing it as an exhibition. It doesn't even hurt his record.
Because of the drug of boxing.
Also money.
Just like but I don't even think he don't need any money.
He spends so much money.
Yeah, but he don't need any.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Floyd good.
I bet if he's playing for the future, you got to keep it coming in if you're going to keep spending the way he spends.
Yeah, but I think he has a lot of other business interests that he can get money from.
Hopefully.
And not just boxing.
Floyd Mayweather often claims he doesn't rely on anyone when it comes to handling his affairs, and he wears his "I'm my own boss" slogan like a badge of honor. But while that independent attitude may have worked for him in the ring, in the world of business, it's a risk.
Risk?
When it's all said and done, I'm a winner. That mansion right there behind me, I built it with hard work and dedication. That Bugatti, I earned it. And all the rest of them toys, I earned it. If you work hard and dedicate yourself, anything is possible. Here I am today.
Joe Rogan agrees that Mayweather's record is impressive, but he stops short of calling him the greatest because being undefeated doesn't mean you're the best to ever do it, and Rogan emphasizes that Floyd's defensive style and handpicked fights differ from the raw, fearless boxing of legends like Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson.
Of all time, right?
It's arguable he is. He's been hit hard maybe 4 times his whole fucking career.
Right.
You stop and think about how many fights he fought
He's
against
got great
elite
defense.
guys.
Amazing.
Not just great defense, like the best defense of all time.
Yeah.
You're talking about a guy who's fought everybody. He fought Canelo, he fought Pacquiao. Maybe he didn't fight Pacquiao when he was in his prime, and maybe he fought Canelo when he was young and made him cut extra weight. But at the end of the day...
That's part of being a fighter though, right?
Joe Rogan notes that Floyd has an obsession with showing off high-end cars, diamond-encrusted watches, and expensive clothes, and while it may look like confidence, Rogan suggests that such displays often hint at deeper insecurity.
The person who's been able to do like that is Floyd Mayweather. He's the only guy who's been able to just be balling out of control, constantly flashing money, $1 million watches, a fleet of super expensive cars, and still fucks everybody up. The thing about Floyd is he never lost his discipline. Floyd would famously run home from the nightclub. So he would go out in Vegas, he'd be partying. It looked like he's partying, he's drinking water. And then he would have his driver drive, and with his fucking pants on, jeans on, he would jog home. I mean, the dude was always trained.
Being the highest paid
athlete ever doesn't automatically make someone the best. In Floyd's case, his earnings came from his marketability, not necessarily his boxing prowess. This distinction matters.
And pleasure to be around him for many years. I was his personal shopper. I was a personal friend of his family. One of my greatest memories of being just lucky enough to even be around that environment was watching him train. Watching Floyd Mayweather train is a masterclass in discipline. It is a masterclass in work ethic. It is a masterclass in this is how you execute and get stuff done. Every rep, he hits it hard. There's not one lazy rep. He does everything at such a high frequency, so elevated. I'm like, goodness gracious, watching this man train, it's like, that's how I want to train for life. I've been to the club with Floyd where we leave in the club 3-4 in the morning and he's still going to hit his 6 miles. He'll have all the...
Floyd's decision to openly showcase his wealth has brought unwanted consequences, from tax investigations to financial gossip, as his need to be seen as rich made him a target, and now that rumors of financial instability are circulating, Floyd's history of showing off has come back to bite him, because every car, watch and private jet he flaunted is now being used to measure his fault, so people are no longer asking how rich he is, they are wondering how broke he might become.
Floyd is allowing it to happen. That's what I said.
It's a lie. And for two, Floyd ain't broke. Everybody know that, man. His net worth $1 billion. You know what I'm saying? Floyd Mayweather is not broke at all. That's cap.
Floyd wanted to get himself out of a situation. I believe Floyd can get himself out of a situation.
Former champion Sean Porter minced no words when sharing his opinion of Floyd. He said he never respected him, calling his style unimpressive and his fame undeserved.
Once I became a boxing fan, I found respect for Floyd Mayweather. I had no respect for Floyd Mayweather because he wasn't like me, because he did everything that he was doing, and I was like, nah, he ain't that, and he ain't exciting like me, and I was hating on him. But then I run into Terrence Crawford. He's like, yo, I'm a boxing fan, and made it like it was nothing. Like, I was like, okay, then we can always fight, but we can find a place to be fans of the sport as well. You know what I mean? And that's when I really.
Floyd's strategy-heavy fights left a bad taste for fans who loved aggressive, powerful boxers, and his ability to win without entertaining made people furious, but ironically that frustration kept them watching.
About him because they hit people and they do not get hit back. A good instance, Floyd Mayweather.
people hated him the way he boxed, but also because he was a trash talker. But what did that do? That opened up a lot more entertainment because he backed it up and people tuned in to see him lose. He talked a lot, but he talked the talk and he walked the walk.
Well, it's funny you say that because I didn't want to bring him up, but my brother was a big fan of Mayweather, and I couldn't stand Mayweather. So we would watch these family fights, right? And I would be like, bro, this is a boring fight. He's on his bike, he's running around. I'm like, this is not what we paid for. Like, we want to see a fight. And my brother's like, you don't understand. He's getting points and he's jabbing and then every round he was winning.
Floyd once said that in life you can lose anything, friends, fame, even love, but losing money is a different game, and he warned against being reckless with finances, which feels ironic given his current scrutiny. So the quote sounds wise, but in light of everything he's facing, it also feels like a reflection of fear.
We can't fuck up the money no matter what. We can fuck up a lot of things. We can fuck up the club. We can fuck up a house. We can fuck up a car, but we can't fuck up the money.
So you mean to tell me at the minute where your uncle and...
I knew a fine was coming instantly.
You knew a fine was coming?
I knew it.
But and not one piece of your thing said, let me go snuff
I couldn't
Judah real quick.
No? I was already taking care of business.
Okay, all right. You said, fuck that, let's stay on the back.
I mean, my thing was this. We're professionals. I'm not an amateur. You know, this is not a street fight. So,
despite closing in on 50, Floyd hasn't dialed back on showing off his wealth, as designer outfits, jets, and stacks of cash still dominate his feed, but many now believe this obsession could be leading him toward financial ruin.
They kind of, you know, think it's a red flag when you're 50 years old to feel like almost 50 and still gotta flex on social media, but, you know, people on social media do what they do best, especially black people, try to tear each other down. So people start researching, Angelique started researching, and they found out that Floyd was capping. Now, Floyd is part of like some type of ownership group that got a part of it. Then you got 50.
That clip of Floyd spreading cash across the table went viral for a reason, and to some it was just another flex, but to many it was a red flag, as experts and fans alike pointed out that truly wealthy people rarely feel the need to flash it, so constantly proving wealth online doesn't signal success, it signals a need for validation.
Okay, you know right here, a light million. Over there, counting up another million over there. Walk with me, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take you into my life. So Andrew Jackson, of course, is on the 20. Benjamin Franklin right here. You know, money man all day. We in the bank, doing what we do best, counting money.
All right, everyone. Stay tuned for the latest in boxing news, highlights, events, and stories. Subscribe to Ring Headquaterzz and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Be sure to watch our other videos too. Until next time, take care and stay safe.